Good morning again, people. It's Charlie, and welcome back to another video on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. Hope everyone's doing all right this morning. As always, we're back for another instalment of Bitesize Leeds. All the latest goings on in the wonderful world of Leeds United Football Club, transfer news about Leeds in general. It all goes down on Bitesize Leeds, doesn't it? So then, just before we get into it properly, smash that like button. Please subscribe. Share all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And yeah, let's get right into it, guys. So then, what's been going on in the last 24 hours? So, as I discussed yesterday, Chelsea have agreed a fee for Raphinha, believed to be in the region of about 55 to 60 million pounds up front, rising to 65 million pounds with the add-ons included. Apparently, obviously, they're in talks with the player himself and his agent to agree personal terms. Apparently, they have offered him a 5-year deal at Stamford Bridge, which would expire in the summer of 2027. But, and there is a but, apparently Barcelona are still not out of this race to sign the Brazilian. And why is that? Well, apparently, and this is a rumour, so this isn't really confirmed, but apparently Barcelona are supposed to be being injected with a bit of cash on the 1st of July, which is tomorrow. So supposedly, with this cash, they're going to try and find the way to fund a move for Raphinha. As much as I would prefer him to go to Barcelona so I can actually enjoy him more, I can't see this one happening even if they do get an influx of cash, because they're not prepared to make the bid that we want. They're not prepared to make a bid like Chelsea have. As much as I don't like Chelsea, obviously, you've got to hold your hands up and just respect the fact that they have put up the fee. They've said, we'll take him 55 to 60 million immediately, plus the add-ons, it'll rise up to a 65 million pound deal. Leeds United cannot turn that down, which is why they've accepted it. The deal is done in terms of Chelsea and Leeds have agreed. Obviously, it's down to Raphinha now. There's definitely another twist in this tale, I think. I do think he'll end up going to Chelsea now, but it would not surprise me in the slightest if Barcelona found a way. They always seem to, don't they? They can't even fund a move for Lewandowski at Bayern. Never mind Raphinha. I've said it a few times, but I don't even know how they're supposedly buying anybody at this minute in time. They signed Christensen from Chelsea. They can't even register him. So how this is happening, I do not know. The only way I see this happening is if Scum and Barca agree a deal for Frankie de Jong. That's the only way that I can see this happening, because apparently Barca have valued him at 85 million euros, which, whether you agree with that valuation or not, if they did get that, then they would have the cash to fund a move for Raphinha. But it's up to them, isn't it? Do they want Raphinha or do they want Lewandowski? So, like I said, this one just seems to be so complicated. I think Deco's just trying to pimp him out to all his old clubs. If you were to ask me right this minute who I think he'll go to, I think it will be Chelsea, unfortunately. But I would watch this space, because there could be another twist in that tale. So speaking of the outgoings, then potentially 100 to 110 million pounds in total for the sales of Phillips and Raphinha. How are we going to spend that money? So according to Fabrizio Romano, Leeds United are definitely, or more than likely, going to sign another 3 players. Now, is 3 players enough with them 2 going? In my opinion, no. I think I would like at least another 1 or 2 on top of that. I'd like maybe 4 or 5. But I'm going to be realistic and say that 3 is the bare minimum that we need. Now, obviously, the 3 main players at the minute, obviously, is Cody Gakpo, Charles de Ketelaere, and Mo Camara. Now, Mo Camara is apparently, from sources that I'm seeing on Twitter and Instagram and other journalism that apparently Brighton look like the most favourable now. I did mention on another upload that Camara is the pricier option of the two, which is why I think Leeds United favour a move for Tyler Adams because it makes sense with the Marsh link and his fee. But obviously, there's the Leipzig thing that's going on with JKA and the courts and everything. So who knows? I mean, obviously, Salzburg were willing to do business with us. They're under the Red Bull network, like Leipzig are, and they still sold us Aronson and Christensen. And obviously, we've been linked with Mo Camara. If we get 100 to 110 million for Phillips and Raf, I would splash the cash on Mo Camara. I really, really would. Don't get me wrong, Tyler Adams would be a decent signing, but Mo Camara is a serious baller. I think he would adapt better to the Premier League. And I think if Brighton get him, you'll see him rip up the Premier League. I think Brighton are quite a smart club in how they go about business. And I think that would be a very good replacement for Yves Bissouma, who's gone to Tottenham. So as much as it pains me to say it, Leeds could end up getting priced out of a deal for Mo Camara, which then leaves Tyler Adams as the option. Like I've just said, Adams would be a decent signing, but there's definitely better out there. I think he would fit the system well. I think he'd slot nicely next to Mark Rocker, but I think Camara would slot even nicer. I think Marsh has known him since he was like a young academy player in the States. So if you were to ask me which one of the two I think will happen, I think it'll be Tyler Adams. But Leeds are not out of the race for Mo Camara, so I really hope that we can push that one through. Cody Gakpo as well, amazing young talent that is seen as a replacement for Raphinha. I know YouTube clips aren't usually the best source of data for research, but from what I've seen and everything that I've seen of him and heard about him, this guy's the real deal. I've said it on other uploads, but this would be a real statement signing for me. The only issue with this is that PSV apparently value him at £30 million, which are Leeds United going to be willing to pay £30 million on a player that's unknown at this level? Yes, we signed Dan James for 25, 27 million. Yes, we've signed Aronson for 24. But £30 million on a player that's never played English football. Again, really good young talent, and I think you'd be paying for the potential. Apparently, he does want to move as like a stepping stone for something bigger. Leeds United could be that club. If we are to follow this Leicester model that Radrizzani keeps going on about, we've bought Raphinha from Rennes for like 17, 18 million. Absolute steal. We're selling him on for 60, 65. Huge profit. If we were to get Gakpo for about even 20, 25 million, I think I'd be okay with that. But I think to pay 30 when you just don't know how it will go in England. Yes, he's been amazing in the Dutch league, but the Dutch league isn't a great league. You know, there's loads of caveats with this, even though I do think it would work with him. I do think he would be an amazing signing, and it definitely is a deal that I want Leeds to try and push through. And then the CDK from Club Brugge, you know, really top talent. He looks completely like Patrick Bamford as well. It'd be the poshest attacking line you've ever seen in the Premier League. Both are similar height, both have got similar attributes. CDK obviously is a younger player, more hungrier player in my opinion. Ripped it up in the Belgian league, has made a few international caps for the Belgian side who have got a crop of really good talent. I think this is a no-brainer. Yes, AC Milan are in for him. They can offer him European football, blah, blah, blah. Leeds have apparently prepared a bid of £26 million. I don't think they've actually formally made that offer yet to Club Brugge. But even if that gets rejected, I would like us to go back in. I don't want us to get in a bidding war. I would maybe go in with maybe another 2 offers at the most. And if they say no, then we've just got to move on. I was listening to last week's edition of the Phil Hay Show yesterday, and I heard him speak about the fact that Leeds United will be bringing in a centre forward, whether it's CDK, whether it's Callum Wendo from PSG. a number 9 is on the priority list this season. Obviously, yes, we've got Bamford, but there's the injury risk there. I think Paddy will be like a new signing this season if he can stay fit. Then we've got Joe Gellart, who's coming through, who some people would argue that he's ready, others wouldn't. So another striker, and I think we're okay. CDK, Cody Gakpo, and Mo Camara as the 3 signings. If those were the only other 3 signings we make, then fair play. On top of Mark Rocker, Christensen, and Brendan Aronson, that would be a very good window, in my opinion. And finally, I just want to briefly touch upon a little debate that I've seen. Apparently, Gjanni Alioski has terminated his contract at the team that he went to over in Saudi. Can't remember the name of them, if I'm honest. Apparently, they got relegated in their league and he's terminated his contract and he's now a free agent. Seen people say that they'd like Alioski back. Seen others say that they would absolutely not want Gjanni Alioski back. I'm on the fence with this one. I can't lie. I can see the advantages to not having him. I can see the advantages to having him. As much as he wasn't the greatest left back in the world in terms of the defensive aspect, I do think he's a better left back than Junior Firpo. No disrespect to Firpo, but he is actually a left back, and I'm saying that essentially a winger is a better left back than him. His engine, Alioski, was unbelievable. Really played well in the Premier League as well. I think it was the right time to move him on at the time, but I think if we could get him back just as a free agent, I think he'd be a really good squad player. But then on the flip side to that, that's just, I feel like me and a lot of fans want us to kind of move away from the promotion squad gradually now and naturally phase out of that era and into a new one. People won't want to hear that, and I get the sentiment behind the likes of Click, Ayling, and Stuart Dallas, Cooper, etc. But these players will naturally have to be phased out. Christensen is definitely playing ahead of Luke Ayling. I don't care what anybody says. Marsh made him his number 1 priority. He will play ahead of Luke Ayling. Then you've got Aronson, who will definitely play, and Mark Rocker. The likes of Forshaw and such as well. So if we bring Alioski back, is that taking a backward step? Is that maybe going in the wrong direction? Who knows? Hit me up in the comment section down below, guys, with what you think on that. That brings us to the end of this morning's upload of Bitesize Leeds. I really hope that you've all enjoyed it. As always, smash that like button. Please subscribe. Share all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And if you haven't already, go check out the Patreon page with the article that I dropped last weekend. Another one will be coming probably on Sunday, as I am out on Saturday. I'm out all day on Saturday with my mates. So, I won't be able to do anything on Saturday, I'm afraid, but I'll try and get some content out on Sunday, whether it's the article or a video, depending on what's going on. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And hopefully I'll be back in the morning with another installment of Bitesize Leeds, and I'll see you then. Cheers.